How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Daily Driven Death Traps. This is the Lexus GX470 build, and today we are doing the Dobinson's 2.5 inch lift on it. First off, we're just going to take off that wheel, and I would advise to spray everything down with PB Blaster if you are like me in the Midwest. Taking off this brake caliper, we got a zip tie holding it to the frame. Also undid this bracket. We could extend the brake line and other sensors along with it and not break anything or tug on everything for extended amount of time. So there's this cover that you have to take off. You use a very small screwdriver and then work your way up to a crowbar, and you can get that sucker off. Tap in one place or else you're gonna break it.
When you are older, you could get hit by a boulder.
There's this cotter pin that you gotta take off and just kind of bend them back into place, and then grab some pliers and pull that sucker right out.
But so never hit a thing. Yeah. Now all my blood is rushing. Here's the repercussion.
Okay, just wanted to give an update that I messed up like usual. So basically, when replacing a CV joint on a GX470, you do not need to take off the brake caliper or the rotor. Like, the rotor kind of just fell off. It loosened itself as I was beating the tie rod. The only things that you do need to take off is the dust cap. You do need to take off the tie rod with the cast on it. My little cotter pin was all rusted in there and stuck, so I kind of just like bent it to crap. Shoved a 19 on it and it came off and broke inside of there. It's just cheesy little crap, as Sean would say, because I was like, how the heck do I get this thing off now? And then the other two bolts that you need to do are these guys down here, this guy and that guy. They're both 19s. After that, this thing should come out. Just gotta hammer that and then pull it, take it out from its little home, and then after that you can basically put everything back on. That isn't the tie rod, and then all I have to do is take off the top of the strut, the three little bolts, and all that sensor stuff, and then this thing should come right out, and it should be as big as that and fit in without taking anything else out other than the tie rod. We'll see how it goes.
I'm a sweaty little snack. I'm a sweaty little snack.
So taking out the CV joint's going to be kind of a pain. There is a lip that you can kind of get a crowbar on or something like that, but it's going to take a little bit. Getting it back in, however, is a little bit easy when you line up the splines. That sucked. Will be probably a little dark, maybe not. So there's some lips on this new one. Yours might be different. Who knows if they make different kinds, but of course they do. But so basically, I got a flathead, the blue handle right there. When I found that the spline was in and making it turn, you can basically hear it when you turn it. My GoPro's being one hell of a piece of crap and cutting out 19 seconds every time, so I don't know what's going on there. But get the blue screwdriver, and then hello. So my Hero Black 7 decided to take a poop on me. As I was saying, CV joint right here, there's three lips. There's one on the top that I was using, and basically took that screwdriver, flathead, and that big ol' smacker dacker, frickin' punched that sucker in when I felt the splines line up, and it was, you know, you could hear it in the gearing. And then after that, basically just got a jack so I could lift this up and put the bolts back onto here. I'm gonna put my Dobinsons in while this tie rod and the CV is undone up here so that it can go down and I can shove that up in there. Time warp. I had to do a lot more to get this off than I thought. Tie rod's off. Upper control arm is separated from that wishbone right there. That took a bit of a deal. Where's the part that I rented out? So basically, this would not come out, no matter how much hitting with that big guy and small guy. So I had to put this on, and the bolt, you know, went into that and then twisted it, and still wasn't budging. So after I did a few more turns, grabbed that guy, hit it, and it came right out.
I'm a freak, I'm an outcast, I'm a shadow. I stand with the lost souls, looking for a hustle. Got a pulse on the streets, I'm the one you won't look in the eye, no. Yeah, well, I could see what's headed for you down that road. And soon it's coming to take everything you know. When the monster crawls out of the sea, you're gonna need somebody like me. When your brother's got blood in the streets, you better call.
Alrighty, so same on the other side. We just get a screwdriver and then work our way up. Take that cover off, cotter pin, the same old shit. Oops. And then we PB blast literally all the bolts and nuts that we're gonna take off. Got our tie rod, swipe our end link, etc.
You're about to walk through places they don't know you. They don't know you, it ain't safe, y'all. Yeah, well, I can see what's headed for.
And this time I actually show the top of the coil and those 3 nuts that are there, plus the electronic stuff that I don't really know what it's for, but we'll put it back up there. Now we're ready to take the CV out on the passenger side. Driver side, I would definitely recommend getting something to pick up all the fluids. This side didn't really give anything at all. I was actually prepared for it when it didn't even give me anything. So do it for the driver side, or else your floor is going to be very dirty. As we can see from this time lapse, I get this side done pretty quick because I learned from the driver side. Just be sure to get the notches and everything and make sure it's actually in the splines, or else you're gonna really mess up some stuff. Also, always leave your nut at the end of it so you don't screw up the threads. I really had trouble with this sway bar end link spinning, so I had to cut it and then use my vice grips to actually get the nut off of it. So I had to go pick up one of those for like, I don't know, 30 bucks or something like that. That all back together like I did the other side and showed you. And now we're on the back.
What are you doing? Come on.
What's up, everybody? So I finished the front end of the GX CV joint replacement, some energy suspension for the sway bar because those were looking a little crappy, and then the whole Dobinson's lift in the front without, I mean, the upper control arms I didn't change those because the guy at Apache Off-Road said that I'd be just fine without him. If you're going above 3 or something like that, then that's when you need your upper control arms changed out. But you can definitely see that I need to change my gaskets for my valve covers, and I definitely need to clean up this frame because it is very, very bad. Some places need welded. I mean, everything needs some work, but holy crap, this is this is. I leave pixie dust everywhere I go. So I got the rear spring and shock out, and doing this is a lot easier if you... I just have these motorcycle lifts kind of like here as, you know, safety, but then I have those guys. So basically you lift it up by your diff, and then you put your jack stands on each side of the frame, and then you can lower it down, take off your sway bar links on both sides, and then you take your shocks out. Now after you have both of your shocks out and both of your sway bar end links out, you can jack up one side. The spring comes right out. This one's already been changed from the airbags to springs. So now I have this guy in here with the shock absorber. This is killing me. Like, my mental health is about to the top right now, or whatever you'd say for that.
But this is supposed to go right here, and then you have your bolt and your washer. So this would fit right down into here, and you have that much space. And then the washer and the nut just keep falling down this little hole, and then I have to pull it out with this guy. I just can't get it, so I just said screw it. We're gonna see how it runs without it. Killing me small. So other than that, I got the spring in there, as you can see, and I'm just gonna skip that thing because screw it. Let down that side now and watch how this guy goes up and see if it sets into place good, and then we can jack this side up, do the same thing on the other side, and then we can put the shocks in. As for shocks, it was just that guy right there, and I had to jack up the diff a little bit just to pound the shocks off on the bottom, because with it lowered all the way, they won't really come off because this is at an angle a little bit. Just jack the diff up a little bit again, and then you can pound these off easier than just having it all the way down. Alright, so it's done. If you're doing this job, I'd definitely recommend a rubber mallet to get these guys back in. I basically took the paper towels and wrapped it around the hammer that you can see right there. It didn't really work out too well. I just made a hole right in the hammer, and I mean, it worked well for like a couple smacks, but then it just broke through. I basically got the other jack, put it under here, jacked it up so that it would compress just a little bit more and I could smack it on easier because that is angled down. I'm looking at the screen right now and it says 91 for battery, and it just powered off because it said battery low. So yeah, that's kind of how it went on both sides. As for that, you can see that I had to do that because it was too hard to get something in there to tighten this down. So yep, just cut it a little bit. It didn't go in. It's literally 40 degrees right now, GoPro. Get your shit together. I had to cut it, got the nut on, you know, self-explanatory. Now I'm just gonna jack up the diff, put the tires back on, fill the front differential with fluid because when I took the CV joints out, you know, I lost fluid on the driver's side. So gonna fill it up to full, and then bam, GX is done for now. Bumper coming soon.